coming out outside of maybe an Abyssal Blade on this Ursa. So if this Enigma has a good game and play a kind of a slow pace kind of approach, then sure, I think you black hole him, get him out of the game, and suddenly Death Prophet can spell. It's very much you have to hit the big spells with the big spells to get yourself in.
Small adjustment.
There's a lot of pressure on this Enigma for sure, so keep an eye out on him. But you know, this middle lane with the Death Prophet and the Void Spirit, of course, we're expecting to see K probably do very well here. Despite the fact that I feel like, you know, anytime you see a melee hero against the Death Prophet, she tends to have a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, I think the saving grace, because you have this Void Spirit, outside of lane, it's what they bring to the game, and that 4-minute rune, the Void Spirit naturally will be looking to move to the side lanes, be super active, and Death Prophet, very static kind of hero. You're pressuring the DPK. We've seen in the games he played so far in DP, he's super active, likes to break down the map. We're going to see that again here with this one.
Bullying save a little bit here in the top lane, but generally, you know, it's so weird because I've been seeing so much like early fighting, early aggression coming out of the EU region, but in CIS, it feels like everybody just kind of sits back and they just chill for a bit. It seems a bit backwards, right, from what we're...
Yeah, I think it's kind of like two ways to play Dota right now, which is kind of what you touched on. It's the idea of you can wait and farm and then really break down the enemy with a good or you try and just run at them non-stop and then they never have the time to set up that kind of farming pattern. No, it is refreshing to see a little bit of flip within the regions, you know?
I think it's interesting too. Usually, you know, we'll see rotations. Sometimes you get lucky, right? Sometimes we get a really good action rune coming out and the mid's able to snap it up and we start seeing that fight start like maybe a minute early. But otherwise, it seems like most of the action starts around the 5-minute mark, right? When everybody's scrambling for those bounty runes, bottles and whatnot.
There's kind of like two really big windows. Kind of the active rune, if you have that hero to utilize it, and also you want to kind of refill the board, set yourself up for the bounty fight.
Oh, he's fine. Look at him.
Yeah,
he's
cheeky little
fine.
stab, hasn't he? Yeah.
Look at that. He's got a foul. This is a captain of Virtus.pro here. You're not going to take him down that easily.
Oh, but this is what Unique need. They need to start getting some kills early on, I think, with Io. Because you have Io Tusk, it's very potent, it's very strong. And then it will obviously kind of fall off when the Io needs to get 2 or 3 items for a hero. So the lack of early kills here is going to make you feel a little bit
Farm up here top lane. Io sitting at 7-1 current. Not best feelings in the world.
I didn't even... Oh, yeah, that's a bit low.
I think that's an understatement. A bit low.
Yeah, it's a tad low. Yeah, it's not too good. But again, like, they're looking for the kills, and Slane has been pretty much in front of the Brewmaster this entire time, and Paul Camp's not been able to utilize, so the VP are going to be loving life in this lane.
I mean, how do you get kills in this lane? You've got an Io, and you're facing off against, you know, someone fairly tanky, and of course, you know, Save is going to be able to actually, you know, save. He does have the shackles up, and that's going to get a value point in the Hex.
Yeah. The thing about Io is you need that +1 to have that tendency for the VP to be able to play. That forces your support not to be able to play on that full camp. Why is the stage always in front of the Shaman? But Slayer, he is doing a good job at tanking up the spells, you know. Warrant, he did get shackled, but you know, as long as this Io can maybe get a couple more DS, get that dominator.
This is a nice start here. Save though with the shackles, couple of spirits coming out, but he's still going to be able to walk away. Turns back around. Can they get a kill on Slayer here? They're hoping maybe they can get off enough damage, but you have to be careful, of course, with those over on the side.
No thanks.
There's a lot of poking and prodding.
No hard committals just yet, like I said, but 4 minutes has come up around. Our bottle here, Void also is that as well. So I think maybe around the 5 minutes. A bit more scrapping, maybe a little bit more committal. Especially with Slayer sitting so low, and if Slayer leaves, then Palantimos is very, very vulnerable.
I think the nice thing as well that this is, in like the EU region, we see a lot of active nature towards these runes, and we haven't seen that at all from either of these teams. We kind of allowed the mid lane to go, you know what? You guys play for the 50-50. If you lose, it's your own fault. We're not going to help secure it in any way. And that is a product of the Tusk having to have IO, the Enigma having to jungle, and then VP seeing that and just trying to apply that extra bit of pressure. Because if the supports ever leave the VP, that's when Unique will start kind of get carried away, getting that extra farm, because they are a lot greedier.
Snapped up here. Nice ones. Kingslayer managing to grab 2 of them. 5.
and steady. It's early days. You know, I think VP, they're going to be very happy with this start. And I think Unique as well. I think both teams, they really aren't going to feel any pressure right now, the way that these lanes. Maybe the IO is the only one feeling a little bit kind of more upset just in kills, but hopefully we're going to see some tempo ramped up, especially with GPK getting level 6. He might be starting to play on the side.
I feel like he's seen this before. Although the IO spears aren't doing a lot of damage this time, so there
someone
we
dies,
go.
Moxie. That's what we care about.
First blood at 5 minutes and 40-something seconds. Not usually what we see in this region. I like this though. They rotate the Coddle to be able to try to put some more damage down. Just wipe up all of these Sandstorms Eidolons. You have to be careful though, GPK. Oh, gets the taunt off and they move back around, throwing out the Illuminate. There's a lot of damage being thrown out on Pikachu. Save also rotating.
I think GPK getting pretty low there forces out the save rotation. So saves will be a little bit uncomfortable with this TP. But in general, it's a very good move from VP, especially the Coddle, just getting rid of this early exo pressure from the tower and allowing for kind of this lack of pressure, because Unique, the pressure comes from the DP. DP ever waste exo, they're on their own side of the river, they can't make any plays.
DM getting harassed here by Palantimos and Slayer. The shards though, not going to be able to tame him. And yeah, I do love the way, you know, you saw this rotation, you see the Eidolons in the lane, and then you just immediately see the Coddle make his way over because he's that Illuminate, push out the wave. And just effectively, you know, not necessarily stop the push because he's longer, but definitely, you know, very effective.
It's so sad seeing an Ursa via Timber, I won't lie. When you get left alone, you're the Timbersaw player, you're like, oh, bet, don't hit me. Leave me alone, just let me kind of trade farm. Have you ever done that in a game? Tried offering up like a farm kind of treaty where it's like, I'll CS, you CS, don't hit each other?
No, but I've definitely hit the pause button and said, wait, please, don't do this.
Is this when you're full HP or like 10 HP?
You don't want to do this. Oh, please. You know, the bargain state of great for sure. But down bottom lane here, Ghostik. But not a decent chunk of damage here against Nightfall. They're really holding his own. They do have to be careful. Chaco coming forward. Nightfall's forced to jump ahead. So they're just giving him tiny boots over on the side, but we'll have a rotation come out. Again, the Chaco's doing a decent amount of damage. Hop forward again. Needs to get over the safety so it's a little bit faster. There it is. There's the tackle. Can they get enough damage off the time? Well, I guess the GPK makes his own rotation too. He should be able to help take down Ghostik. They need to be careful because he's really hunting Nightfall. Almost manages to do 50-something hit points. Nightfall is a tricky bear here as he manages to sidestep all of the damage just in the nick.
I think Ghostik's honestly pretty happy with that. The fact that he had 4 heroes in the bot lane just to deal with him, that's exactly what a Timbersaw wants. It alleviates the pressure in the top lane. Now Io and Tusk might be able to start, you know, poking across the Brewmaster and kind of DP happy trading. GPK didn't really miss anything on mid lane for this rotation, but slow and steady.
He didn't lose his tower, that's the big thing, right? Whenever you're playing against the death prop, the lane, she'll use the exorcism. That mid tower is very, very important.
If you look at the net worth right now, greediness of Unique's lineup isn't really getting pressured at all. Like you have Timbersaw Shaw is like the sacrificial lamb, but it's in the Enigma we mentioned already. He's like the big core here. Actually going for the mech, maybe kind of apply for that big team kind of timing we're going to be seeing around minute 15, minute 20. The Helmet Dominator Orchid on Io, Timbersaw with any kind of tanky item.
Boy, this is looking like a dead Slayer.
Under attack.
Hit here.
You know, it's only fair. They got the IO kill earlier. Tusk needs to...
Bignum, they're smoked up. You though, kind of want to stick around in the middle lane. The Enigma.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has
There really isn't any black hole counter in this game outside of, you know, Shaman, a Brew split, and then maybe the Remnant from the Void split. It really does allow for this kind of early window of the game where Enigma could walk in and get a pretty high value black hole. And that's why we're seeing him not really rush like the Blink BKB kind of thing, go more for a tanky mech item to enable this DP, enable the swarming desire that Unique will have when it gets to exit a lane.
That makes a lot of sense, right? You're just going to be able to kind of walk in as long as you survive the initial steps, then you'll be able to get up a black. They will throw out the Illuminate, and there's a decent amount of pressure as they use the fortification already. See more heroes making their way over Taunt with the Illuminate. Okay, popping back up again here over on Pikachu. He sidesteps to Silence. He's just a little bit more damage. Snowball comes out, though, buys a little bit more time. The tower does indeed go down. Timbersaw coming in. The Illuminate, though, will be able to take down Slayer next. And now it looks like it's just Ghostik left here all by himself. They've used the split. They're slowing him down. They're doing everything that they can. Bignum goes nearby, uses the mech, will turn back around, throws down that midnight pulse. And the threat of the black hole just seems to be a little bit too scary for the side of Virtus.pro to go back on.
Unique, they're the ones actually kind of making all the proactive moves right now. They've taken away the spot tower, they're taking away mid, and in Dota, these are kind of fundamentally the most important towers in the game. It opens up a lot more pressure to come in the future. VP, they'll be kind of annoyed with how hard it was to defend that tower. They have to bring all the heroes. They get a couple kills, but it doesn't feel that good. So they're going to have to go back, retreat to the jungle, and as long as they don't keep using more map control, like a line of defensive vision, they still won't mind too much because their scaling is what they're looking for. They don't have this immense amount of damage early on. Like Brew, he needs to have split. Ursa needs Battle Fury +1. They're kind of accepting giving up the map, but this could easily get pretty Unique favored if they go again, get another tower, and then suddenly Roshan's on the card. So
I was about to say, yeah, you know, that tower always is very important, but especially when you really want to protect the tower. The enemies can't teleport easily either to that area. But pressure will be placed on the top area here. Save uses the serpent wards and plenty of people in position, but they're smoked up on the side of Unique. Their way over. Over on the side. Slayer, smoke will pop, they'll find themselves safe. See Kingslayer hiding over in the corner. The Hex comes out, they'll get a stack block. He's just trying to buy a little bit more time for his teammates, but he does manage to do it because they teleport out. Okay, he's gonna get recalled. And so you end up losing, you know,
Dyer's
end up losing your support. I think you're okay.
the team with a Shaman, and now they're grouped up again. I think we have to look towards maybe the negative repercussions of this phase from Unique, where they're grouping up a lot more than VP, which means that they're going to have, lower XP, lower farm across all heroes, and it will give them this kind of early map presence. But the question is, will they be able to keep up with the farm compared to this Ursa, who's already, 6.4k net worth, and he is the wing condition. We are not seeing Unique shut down.
They've been focused on a lot of the objectives, but not necessarily. It's interesting, right? It's kind of like focusing on the present, but not focusing on, your investments for the future.
Dyer's
all in at this point.
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, that is one of the big separations between tier 1 to tier 2. You feel good getting some kills, but like the question is, are those kills the kills that are really getting you into the winning position? Right now for Unique, it isn't that bad, but I'd like to see them try and make some moves towards this Ursa, just stint his farm a little bit.
Moves that they're making currently.
Dyer's top tower is under attack.
VP, they just go back top again. You see that Unique have taken this tower and pushing away. They get it for free. And now they're opening up this Roshan area. Both teams could easily get a free Roshan with one good pick-off around the pit. And I think that's maybe what VP are doing right now. Smoking up, they break down this mid-tower, get a couple of kills, they'll instantly pivot straight to Roshan.
Gotta make sure that they go and lock down. Definitely pop. They might run into Go.
Wasn't actually a sentry there for Unique on the hill, so they're not going to be aware that VP are smoked up right now. They can kind of guess it, just side lanes being pushed in. And now, of course, the serpent ward's being dropped as well.
The reveal, but Bignum also will reveal himself over on the side. The IO immediately. Bignum tries to get into position here. Change forward. Rotation is out. Tossed out as well. Pikachu sitting very low. Palantimos going to make sure he stays alive.
Good thing about Unique in these defensive, they are quite incredibly tanky. Tusk snowball for the save. DP naturally is pretty siphon. Enigma with the mech. Timbersaw IO. Like, if VP commit, they have to all in on that one hero and make sure they have enough burst potential. Right now, they don't have the essence to do that. So that's why you can see VP being quite reserved. They'll come in, focus the tower, but then instantly disengage because they want to try and continue out-farming their opponent. Like Unique, they're going to be slow to get back out onto the map and start farming. And you can see how VP is trying to kind of utilize the positioning right now, get back a bit more of a goal lead, because it is still a very even game.
I think if they had maybe caught Bignum and been able to take him out, perhaps that fight. He is the biggest threat. A major team fight component. It's everything. Because I feel like, you can burst down.
Is under attack.
It's not the easiest. You just kind of ignore you don't want to engage.
And now you can see him here. He's about to complete his Jewel Scepter as well. we spoke earlier about the kind of lockdown that VP has. When they take a team fight, there always has to be one player calling for, I'm holding this stun for the black hole. And it's pretty much like 3 or 4 stars that we're talking about. Nice pick off from.
Trying to count save, and that is actually going to be the blink dagger for Bignum. More crucial, they're going to have to be very, very careful in their fights. It's going to be a case of hunting down the Enigma.
Trying to work out the point in which this brew is going to have like a nice entry to the. He likes to pop his ult, try and get a quick kill, reset, and go, and we haven't really seen that yet. He's now just kind of pushing out the side lane. He doesn't really care if he dies or not. He has the early vessel to deal with this big regen and tanking Unique. I love that pickup. We're still, we're about 4 or 5 minutes away from VP. Constantly wanting to make a play. And Unique, they identify that. They instantly go to Roshan, utilize his exorcism. DP position 5, DP mid. It's gonna do a lot of work.
Radiant's top tower.
That's a level 2 ultimate as well. I don't think VP should be near it.
I don't think you would go into that pit either.
Yeah.
Because you've got an Enigma there. It's way too risky, so I like it.
Very methodical, and yeah, I like the way that they were the ones being proactive. They didn't allow the Shaman to be the taking the tower pressure, and because of that, they get all 3 tier 1s and Roshan at minute. This is like the perfect start for Unique, especially when you're the underdog.
This is really nice. You've got GBK, he just finished the Bignum Scepter, so you know he's going to be his backlines. Silences, because they're looking for an opening here over on Ghostik. GBK jumps forward, the silence coming in handy as he drops right back into the Remnants. They follow him, he's able to get the silence up from the Enigma. Oh no, Bignum, it was going to be beautiful if only there wasn't that silence.
Voice for Ags. That was disastrous for Unique. I think that was where you can see how VP, they're buying their time, and the items came to play there. The Vessel to take away the tank into Timbersaw, the Ags for the silence, and Unique could have turned that around, but fortunately just a second or 2 late, and that's where VP takes it out. 2 big kills.
That was just beautiful, like that peak timing and then having the fight break out like that. You just feel so bad. Like, look at this. Jump in here, over onto Ghostik. Bignum jumps in, but then they follow up with the second silence.
Middle tower.
Power of Keep the Light plus Voice Break. You're always going to have this silence available, and you can see he was so happy with those kills. Like, he was buzzing at the fact that he just got a couple kills. Just hold it back, like, please. Don't show too much emotion.
Methodical, you know? Stone Cold Killer.
He knows it's like 60 minutes winning the game, yeah.
Hey, I'm just happy we got a puppy stomp.
Oh,
that was
wasn't
wonderful.
Yeah. Maybe we should have incentives, you know, it's like you get punished for not having the webcam. You should get, you know, extra money if you start smiling and showing true emotion, you know.
Oh, everyone will be smiling then. People like money. A couple of maybe like an extra DPC point here or there, right? Ooh, everybody's going to be smiling.
Gets 1 DPC point.
But you still have to win.
Okay, yeah.
Is that balance?
No, that's balance, yeah.
Dire
okay, they're hiding in the tree line here. They use a scan, so they know it's there. So careful, but he's got those 8. Blue. Oh, it's so close. Nervous. He'll ask him to step away. And ask to step one more time. Be on cooldown for another 7 seconds. I don't think it's anyways, the worst recall anyways.
I think the worst thing here right now is if Unique is going over after GPK, but then a recall and an instant kill onto IO would have been disastrous because Unique's in the top left corner of the map.
Oh my god.
Luckily IO wasn't in a position where that could easily have happened. But VP were positioned to want to try and make these plays.
Is under attack. Radiant structures
have the
fortified. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, but again, it's not like it's tankiest little ball of light here. So while it will prevent him from getting locked down, I'm not sure it'll be alive from
And a really nice thing that VP are doing right now is they're ensuring that their vision is based on the objectives they want to play at. I think if you look at the minimap real quick, Unique, they have 2 side lane wards, which makes their game feel really hard to play because you're not really playing at the tier 1 bot or the tier 1 top. So a big vision advantage from VP right now to be able to make the correct moves. And it does indicate that this top push, everyone should be here just because you see mid lane pushed in, bot lane pushed in. VP should be very aware that this top tri-camp area, and showing in the lane, does pretty much help. Yep.
Well, down goes the tower here.
Radiant's top tower.
Looks like they're okay with letting it go. It feels like Virtus.pro, they're playing their own game. It really feels like they're like, okay, we're gonna allow them this and this, but I know that I'm gonna be, you know, finishing up this item at this timing. Everything's fine, guys. It just feels like a very chill game for them, where they're not feeling as pressure, whereas Unique definitely has that, like, we are on a time.
It does feel like things. I think we kind of mentioned it on the panel. It's the idea that what does the IO ever do in the kind of late game? You know, it's kind of like a little ball of light versus Big Bear. It doesn't really kind of weigh up that well. And yeah, I think Unique, they are really trying to play around this early window. I think VP as well, they show the respect of a potential Lotus Orb coming out. We see that just on the table now. Brewmaster, everything that he's bringing to the table right now is kind of gone. You know, we don't really care about a split too much. Unique are too tanky. This Vessel, all right, cool. You're now kind of just like a vision in fight. So yeah, Unique and a really big power spike right now. Probably waiting for the second Roshan to really try and break down VP. Start pressuring there.
So what do we want to see come more than just everybody in the fight?
Okay, well, I'm happy that he went for this Midas to kind of give himself a game, because I think the way that we were discussing this Vessel already falling off, he needs to scale. He's got Aghanims in his quick buy right now. That does allow him to cleanly scale, but realistically, a BKB after that, just to have continued presence in the fight. One hero on VP that can just get vision is critical.
Nightfall. Do they go in? Oh, they have the black hole. The BKB is out. Follow on though with the Exorcism. So they just turn right back around again. They get the kill on Bignum. Now Slayer trying to run away from GPK as is Pikachu. He's getting just chased down. They'll be able to go reload out, but that IO is going to be coming back. And that is, of course, your core. Slayer, though, leading them on a merry chase, says, come look at me. Don't pay attention to my IO. And it doesn't matter because he is going to go down. Very dangerous, though. Palantimos is going to be coming back here with Pikachu. They drop the surfer wards over onto Ghostik. He's going to take a lot of damage. That Essence Ring, though, looks like it's going to be able to keep him alive. Just a Pikachu now will go down. Ghostik is going to get backed up. And they just need a little bit more damage for this Timbersaw. By God, they have it. Somehow, Palantimos is still alive, but it doesn't look like he's going to be living much longer here, T-Gov, because the rest of the team is here. The Spirit Vessel is here. And it's Nightfall with the
Radiant's bottom
I
tower
just think
is
the
under
patience
attack.
of VP, it really put Unique in this position. Okay, we got the Black Hole, we have to make a play. We need to do something. You can see the kind of the haste from the Enigma to want to try and instantly get it off and Voice Spirit, just in position to just jump in, silence, and no, I should have BKB. I can instantly cancel. Without the Black Hole, where's the team fight? So
Dire's
unfortunately for
middle
Unique,
tower is
they kind
under
of
attack.
buckled under the pressure of VP doing nothing. And it sounds weird to say, but in Dota, I think that is the worst pressure to feel, when your enemy is not making any moves against you, and you're like, wait, they're just farming. But we have to do something, and that's exactly what happened here. Wasted Black Hole and now dead again in top lane. It's looking a bit dismal now for Bignum.
I mean, he's putting up a decent fight, considering that
He
there
has
are
survived next to 3 seconds.
Yeah, you know? Hey, those are 3 seconds that Nightfall was not hitting creeps or hitting any other.
So that is min-maxing to the highest of levels.
You gotta look at the positive side of things.
That is
but
true. The interesting thing as well in that fight is after the Black Hole was wasted, they also brought the DP back in after the IO save. It's like they really committed to trying to take the fight, which was very, very interesting.
Dire's
I
top
don't
tower
think
is
you
under
use
attack.
it like that if you're a core IO.
Yeah,
Is that just me, or?
It feels like they were trying to make the big save, and then like, oh wait, I'm a core. All right, let's go for the fight. Oh, okay. So Unique, they need to reset. They need to really think about what's the next fight. And I think, simply put, it's having the vision to get off the correct Black Hole. We mentioned already what's the cancel. I think if you can maybe get the Tusk to find the Shaman, the Enigma maybe even Black Holes the Void Spirit, and then you get to play up the game there. Cut out the Ursa at the very end, because this Axon Void Spirit is way too disastrous.
Played it beautifully.
That was a core IO, by the way. That
was a core
died.
IO.
Yeah.
Now it's looking like a dead Slayer as well. They're just hemorrhaging kills around the map right now.
And I mentioned earlier the idea about vision in this game, and I think the product of those two side lanes, it doesn't really allow you to make these strong mid kind of positional moves. And if you look at the minimap again, Dire, they got one ward entering their jungle. There's nothing to really play around. They don't see anything happening, and that's where the likes of Ursa, Void Spirit, and even the Kotter with a recall, they can just pick off anyone who shows in the lane or even the jungle.
I feel like this Coddle is just too good of a hero, right?
Bonkers, Moxie. Just let's not even sugarcoat it. The hero is stupid. I can, with Chakra, I can refresh some abilities from my ultimate, you know? Like, pressing the buttons, oh, it's stupid.
Oh, at the top lane, Pete. And Nightfall collects himself.
That was a mid lane death prophet, by the way.
That was.
Clarify. We have been seeing a
Dire's
lot of
middle
support
tower
death prophet,
has
but
fallen.
Ursa, it is also a pretty stupid hero. We've seen Secret run it with great success. Once it gets to the 2-3 items, it rips anything to shreds.
Very good hero, for sure. And they're making it look absolutely fantastic in this game. Of course, that is a core IO, which is not typically. Anymore, anyway. Is it? I know Charlie's been running a lot of this core IO. Is there anyone else that's really been like guns that this, you know, good hero?
In the pub, yeah, it has been, but it's very much based around buying like orchids and having an early active item when But he is close to the BKB. It's like 1,000 gold, 900 gold.
He is, but look how big this pair is getting. All right, Snowball comes out. It's going to land over on the side. Looks like Palantimos will be able to go and tether out. Kingslayer's just running on and after him. Like, that's a problem when you've got your 5 running after the 4. Like, let me at him.
You don't often see, like, 1v1 fights.
BKB getting popped now from Palantimo. Nightfall is going to respect it. He'll back off a little bit. That Abyssal Blade is on cooldown for another couple seconds, as is BKB. Like they realize, okay, maybe let's just chill. Let's go back. There's another tier 2 still on the map. Let's put pressure down.
There's just no damage left in Unique anymore. I think the early window where they were pressuring, it allowed them to try and pick apart the weaknesses of VP's lineup. But now it's 17-3. You can clearly see how does Unique actually get a kill in this game with this. Core IO is about kind of chipping and non-stop being in your face. Heroes like Voidsbro, Ursa, Brute, they don't
are scanning.
ultimate can kill you in like 3 seconds. So yeah, for Unique, they are kind of falling a little bit victim to kind of lack of instant scaling that they have in their lineup, and they have to look for the big fight. And Roshan will be a point where Black Hole should be able to become a big threat once again.
So careful here. They smoked up. They're doing a wraparound play as they go to use exorcism, jumping over onto the backline. Bignum is just not even sure. He's not even going to be able to use the BKB as Slayer. Give that run to go. So Palantimos is being chipped away here by Nightfall. Buyback coming up from Keeper of the Light. They just call GG. They've had it. They realize this strat, unfortunately, not going to work out for them this season.
Yeah, that was a little bit rough. I like the idea that he had earlier.